Alright. Oh! The stretch, the yawn, Oh, that felt good. Okay. Hold on a second. My friend is sending me a text. Give me 1 second. You should react to the Fnaf movie. Can't wait to see your reaction. Oh, they want reactions. Oh, I'll give them reactions. I'll give them the best freaking reactions they've ever seen in their lives.
I always come back.
The movie was great, and I'm just gonna say it now. It was amazing. I'm so freaking happy that we actually got Scott to write the screenplay for this thing, because it'd just be another obvious cash grab if he didn't. Let's be honest. Like, no amount of Nick Cage beating the crap out of mascots would save the film for me, even if they tried. Trust me, it didn't work the first time. You've no idea how many times I had to convince all of my friends that these things are real. No amount of CGI could compare to this. It'd be an insult to have CGI animate the animatronics. I mean, the Jim Henson Workshop made masterpieces. I'm not going to lie at all. The story's great. I mean, of course it's going to be different from how it is in game. Of course it is. But I think Scott made the perfect blend to appeal to both the newcomers and the old fans. Most people, probably took a gander at Willie A going, "I always come back," while 50 sweaty freaks in the audience screamed their lungs out, thinking that their very lives are at stake. These people are cheering for someone being brutally killed. Granted, it is the villain, but golly. I don't think anyone truly appreciates how much the movie appeals to the fandom, except for me. Okay, I'm the #1 proprietor of the Scott Cawthon fandom, okay? The Anim Dude appreciators out there are led by me, their clearly mentally stable leader, and I cultivate only the most professional and respectful people on the internet to look at the series through the reverent lens of analysis from a storytelling and narrative sense. So in essence, Scott made the right move by keeping Mike the protagonist in all seriousness. Abby being his sister and Garrett being his kidnapped brother set up for a great family dynamic. Not ethically, no, but engaging to the audience? Absolutely. The family aspect of it plays perfectly into a substitute thing of how the Afton family is portrayed in the games, all dysfunctional and, sort of dead. Well, maybe not that last one, but the sentiment is still there in the movie. So a little rundown of the plot for you guys. So, spoiler warning. It's in the thumbnail. It's here in the audio. So, I don't know. If you don't want to be spoiled from here on out, I don't know what to tell you. So Mike's been dealing with reoccurring dreams in order to revisit the time when Garrett, his little brother, was kidnapped, so he can possibly trace back to see who committed the act by remembering what their face looked like. It's a pretty smart but sad ordeal, because Mike keeps reliving the same nightmare over and over again, constantly being reminded of Garrett's abduction. Not to mention he's basically filling in as the breadwinner to provide a better life for his sister Abby while she stays with her aunt the whole time, who is a total dirtbag in the film. And I was more so satisfied with how the film deals with the straggling little off-brand side characters of the movie. Mike is just trying to get by and help his sister out. They legit need the money, but Mike is constantly being mentally afflicted by his nightmares that it costs him his sanity. In the beginning, he mistakes a father pulling his kid towards somewhere in the mall, I don't know, and then equates that to being a kidnapping. He then proceeds to beat the ever-loving crap out of the dude, causing him to get the corporate boot. Honestly, Matthew Lillard was a better William Afton than I ever could have imagined. Well, Steve Raglan. Whatever, it's the same thing. On top of all of this, that little stutter when William is interviewing Mike, saying his last name, and was like, hold up, this is the guy. I love foreshadowing like this, especially since it plays out during the second half of the film, where he's revealed to be the one who took Garrett. At first, I'm not gonna lie, after the whole Dream Theory book being referenced a lot in Mike's nightmares, I thought they were gonna go with the whole Mike Schmidt or Mike Afton debate. I was reading way too deep into it, but I'm glad I was wrong with the direction they went with. That was honestly way better. And another thing, these side characters, man, Hank and the childcare lady, they can go somewhere far away. They are the true villains of this story, not William. At least Golden Freddy pulls up and gives everyone their just dues, but good night, dude, they got old really, really, really fast. So, good on Scott for taking them all out, for real. Another point in Scott's favor. Now let's get into the animatronics themselves and how they act. This is perfect. They don't like adults, and they don't like people breaking in and smashing the place to bits, just like in the games, but around Abby, they're so wholesome. You gotta understand, as a fan, this is the most heartwarming thing to ever come out of this franchise. It's up there with the Happiest Day minigame and what it represents. This is exactly how these characters would act if they ever saw a child at the pizzeria during the night shift. They just play pretend and hang out with each other That is so freaking adorable. And it makes sense why they do this. I mean, if you think about it, they're all around the same age when they died, so Abby's just another friend to them. I mean, at the end of the day, they're literally just kids. So I don't want to hear no crap from the fort building scene or them having fun mid-movie, because that is the highlight of the movie, and no one can convince me otherwise. Of course, the critics understand this, right? I mean, let's see what they think of the movie. Oh. Well, okay, now let's see what the audience thought. Every freaking time, dude. The critics are troglodytes. I don't want to hear this Rotten Tomatoes score. Like, critics like the most boring and substanceless movies. Like, get out of here with that 27%. Now, let's discuss Vanessa, which honestly worked out pretty well in my opinion. I kind of expected her to be a jerk or, like, be a foil to Mike in a way, because, like, that's usually how deuteragonists treat the main character nowadays. But, like, no, she was actually a caring and thoughtful person who has a legit reason to do what she was doing, and a tragic backstory that doesn't make me want to do cartwheels in front of oncoming traffic. Like, gosh dang, Mr. Cawthon, I'm so proud to be the president of your fan club. For real though, the heroes actually were tragically heroic and everything just made sense. Like, the squad was perfect. Just perfect, you know, down to the last minute detail. Speaking of minute details, don't think I didn't catch Sparky the freaking dog and Ella as a Springlock suit. Scott, Mr. Cawthon, if I may. If you knew that Mangle's gender reveal would potentially start World War III, then why on earth would theorists take this little Easter egg as a joke instead of a stepping stone to completing the lore? I can't trust anyone who uses the movies to truly solve the lore of the games, man. I really just can't do it. The Ghost Kids and William Afton had the exact same dynamic from the Silver Eyes trilogy, which is a nice surprise, honestly, because it totally works here. The kids thinking Spring Bonnie is their friend the whole time while trying to make Abby their friend via his request makes sense, because in the books, the dead are forgetful. Like, they don't remember details prior to how they died. They just understand the fact that they aren't alive. So using a drawing to tell them that the Yellow Bunny is the bad man was a nice little detail, and I'm so glad that the animatronics and Abby have such a wholesome relationship with each other. So yeah, if Abby says the Spring Bonnie is the bad guy, he's the bad guy. No questions asked, dude, okay? Also, it's cool that William Afton, though having little true screen time for the big moments in the film, he really shined. Like, say what you want about the movie, you can say it's corny or whatever, but Scott really loves his fan base. He knew everyone would lose their mind when the Purple Man himself came out of the closet and identified with the pronouns "I'm him." Like, dude, forget these poor reviews, man. This movie slaps, and I'm sure we all know it's the audience that truly matters. I really could care less about these smooth-brained critics that think because a creator loves his franchise that they should hate it. Yeah, screw all that noise. It's definitely gonna get a sequel. I don't think anyone is saying that it's a one-and-done deal, especially with the legend Matthew Lillard saying on record he signed for a 3-movie deal. So yeah, get hype about that. And the end credits and the constant imaging of the puppet being in the background throughout the movie really makes me think we're about to get a prequel just like we do in the games. Then I suppose the 3rd movie, Springtrap, shall return and Mike will finish him off for good, you know. I think the puppet will become more of a prominent figure as the movies progress, simply because of how important it is in the games, but, you know, whether or not Scott decides to make the puppet be possessed by Charlie in particular is really up in the air. There's really no way of telling at this point. It's definitely a possibility, but for now all we can do is sit back and patiently wait for all the little Easter eggs and theories to be had around the time of the 2nd release. I'm honestly, like, beyond excited. It's gonna be great. You have no idea. And to all the critics that rated this movie so poorly, I mean, look, the audience says you're full of it, so your opinion is wrong. Bye.